Hello, friends, and welcome to the 14th episode of All New Snap Judgments. As always, I'm Roy Rogers, and I'm joined by my friend and yours, Aaron Glazer. Glazer, my friend, besides having an awesome fresh cut, that it is true that we don't have talking heads here, but that does deny our loyal listeners, and especially our loyal viewers, to see your wonderful fresh cut. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm great. I'm back to work, so I've got to learn to balance all the Snap content with teaching again, which is going to be fun and interesting for all of us at the same time.
It's a lot, man. Having multiple jobs is a drainer, but I'm glad to hear that you're settling back into the groove a whole almost month after I went back into the building. Anyway, besides my resentment, let's raise the positivity here, or at least the energy, by introducing our very special guest, Glazer, who is joining us for this awesome episode of Snap Judgments.
Returning to the Marvel Snap Team YouTube is the chillest streamer of all the chill streamers, the man who has exploded like almost no other recently. It is Teddy Ninja. How you doing, Teddy?
Hey, so good to be on the show. Awesome to be able to be here, and I'm super excited for the topics that we're looking at. Man, we're in some hype seasons, guys.
In addition, Teddy, how could our listeners/viewers find you?
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube at Teddy Ninja, and then I also stream on Twitch as well at Teddy Ninja 15. Most of the content's up on the YouTube side, but you can find me wherever you enjoy getting your content.
We are also joined by the Beast of Snap, Marvel Snap News himself, the person who I fully expect to be challenging for the number one spot in our new leaderboard. It is Braude. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolute pleasure. How can our listeners/viewers find you?
I stream on Twitch at Braude, just Braude, and I tweet Snap News at X Marvel Snap Bugle.
So I'm going to say this immediately for our listeners. If you're not following Marvel Snap News, like, what are you doing? If you listen to this kind of podcast, if you do any of our content, my content, Teddy's content, who was last week, Tucker and Tussin's content, the week before Dent's content, if you do any of that, like, we all owe a debt of gratitude to Braude for Marvel Snap News. It makes our life so much easier.
It's very true. His willingness to ask questions of the developers early on was extremely helpful when we were, in particular, just getting rolling, when no one else was brave enough to be harassing Glenn and whatever person was on Twitter at the time as the sort of face person. But before we could dig into, Teddy already said we have some great topics. This is a really exciting season. Who doesn't love Loki? Back soon. Look at all that cross synergy that's going on. We need to tell you how you could cross synergize with Snap Judgments by following us on various social media. We are currently on whatever Elon Musk is calling the social media network that he spent billions of dollars on and then is proceeding to drive into the ground. Our handle on that is at SnapJudgeCast. Most importantly, we are the official podcasting partner of Marvel Snap Zone. You should go out and join their Discord. The link to join their Discord is in the description of both the podcast and YouTube episode. So please, they have the best large Discord in all of Marvel Snap, where you can find Glazer engaging with you on Discord when he should be instructing our youth. We are also on email at snapjudgmentspodcast@gmail.com. We will do our best to respond to you in a timely manner if we can find our way through the kick spam that Glazer signed us up for. And we are also on everyone's favorite extinct animals social media platform, Mastodon, Snap Judgments at tabletop.vip, and that's Snap Judgments with an E. And most importantly to us here right now, besides Marvel Snap Zone, is our own YouTube. You've already found the show on Marvel Snap Zone where you're watching this, but you should go and follow our YouTube, which is at Snap Judgments Pod, for daily Snap takes that Glazer is offering you each and every day, sometimes multiple times a day, depending on his fickle mood. Aaron, if our loyal listeners were to become our loyal viewers, what would they find on the YouTube right now?
We've got the best Loki decks right now, some that hit Infinite in the first day, and we will also have, at the point of this airing, another week and a half of giveaway. We've already given away, as of you hearing this, 5 Loki season passes. I don't know why I held up the number 5 like anyone can see me, but 5 Loki season passes. We're giving away 10 more. All you have to do is sub and comment on the video. That's your entry.
Awesome. All right. As good, thoughtful, global Snap citizens, before we can think about the future, we need to think about the past. All right. We've had 2 big seasons here. First and foremost, the Rise of the Phoenix season, which brought to us Phoenix Force, Jean Grey, Echo, Legion, and Mirage. Teddy Ninja, what were your thoughts? Give us your TDLR of your thoughts about this was, I believe, the June season? Or July season.
It's been a
July
little
season.
bit now, and man, Phoenix Force is gone. I'm actually kind of happy that deck has disappeared. I don't know. I never really enjoyed playing it or really playing against it because I felt like if it hit its combos, it could still roll me, but it wasn't consistent enough when I was piloting it to feel satisfying. It's the Jean Grey with everybody with egg on their face, right? Of how hyped up she was is going to be a meta staple, and she has not really found her footing. I'm still over here at the camp that she could be good, but I mean, it's Legion, right? Legion is the one standout, maybe the best card in Snap right now. I don't know if we did a poll right here. He's definitely top 5, I think, for all of us.
Glenn said top 5 in win rate, so like,
yeah, he's just cleaning house. Even after the nerf, I was getting questions on people saying, should I still go for Legion even after he lost the point? I'm like, yes, he is a steal. He was even a bigger steal right when he released because they gave you that 500 token rebate. Can we see some more of that second dinner, please? That is like, I feel like the perfect model for releasing some of these Series 4 cards and even giving us these big punchy ones into Series 4. Let everybody be able to play with these and then see some really fresh stuff come around in the meta. So yeah, Legion is just cleaning house. And I'm quite enjoying Mirage as well. Braude, which one do you think you've played? Well, I guess we got our Snap statistics. How do we say it? From the previous season. Did any of these cards make it into your most played cards?
Legion was pretty much in every deck I played. Yeah,
that sounds right.
It's a great card. Phoenix Force, I do wonder what they say. They need to fix the bug where the copies can't move. Like, if they fix it, might like if you clone, when multiple men will be able, like if you do it on 4, then on 6 you'll have 4 multiple mans, for example, instead of 3. So it could buff him.
Yeah. Do you think that's enough though to bring it back? It makes
not sure.
It makes the good side of the deck better, but it doesn't fix the weaknesses of the deck being so combo and draw reliant.
Yeah, maybe the deck hasn't been found yet. I think Echo can fit in very many decks. Just like it's depending. It's a very meta card. It's like meta dependent. I think in the Dark Oak meta, it was better than people thought.
Yeah, that's a fascinating take because I was going to say it's really hard to fit her in any decks because the other one cost slot for my decks has so much competition of just great cards that I want to put in plug and play instead. Like I want to play Nebula, I want to be able to play Kitty, I want to be able to play Sunspot, all these other pieces that are really recommending themselves. And even now Blade for discard, I mean...
So I have a question for both of you. We'll throw to Braude first. If Echo was a 2/3, would you play her more or less?
Ooh.
I think less.
The 2 cost is also really hard because it's got Jeff to be able to compete with it. So I probably like it at the 1/2, being able to sneak in there just really stealthy at any point in the game. I like her being very accessible.
Braude?
Yeah, I think at 1/2 she's better. It's Reflect is it needs to be cheap for it to be useful. Like you can throw it on 5 or 6 if you need to with another big card.
Fair. All right.
All right.
Before we move on, so a couple things. Mirage is meta now, right? Like as of Loki's release, Mirage is in 1,000 decks. So if Mirage wasn't great before, she's definitely taken a big bump. And I got I had 8 Infinity tickets, and I got 2 Infinity Borders, and one was a Phoenix Force deck, and one was a Jean Grey deck. So I am for both. The Jean is Evolutionary Surfer, and the Phoenix Force is running both the Nimrod package and the Red Skull package, so that it's always got a combo, and both worked really, really well. I've long been the largest Phoenix Force stan around.
There we go. Well, let's look at the season that we are just leaving just a few short hours ago from when we're recording this. The Big in Japan season, the August season, gave us Daken, Lady Deathstrike, X-23, and Silver Samurai. Braude, what do you think? What is your TLDR thoughts on the dearly departed August season and its cards?
Actually, I think I ranked it otherwise when Glazer asked me, but I do think actually the Silver Samurai is the best card in the season.
I agree.
It's I play mostly Shurikiri now, and it's just so annoying when it's when it discards my Taskmaster. It's I feel like the thing about it, in battle mode, the cards like this, that you can have the nuts, and if you have everything you need, and then I can snap. What if they play Silver Samurai on 5 and they discard my Taskmaster? What do I do?
You retreat. So I think that unfortunately, I think Silver Samurai should be the best, but I think Loki decks might chase Silver Samurai away. They draw so much. Go ahead,
Teddy. They do, but I mean, they want all of that draw to really be able to juice up. And if you're attacking their hand size, I don't know if they shrug it off or if it actually bites them.
So, Daken got a huge bump today. A significantly better card than it was 6 hours ago as of recording. Do we not know why?
The blade change, you can target it.
More than that.
I just think Blade Ghost Rider can also be a very good package now.
Yep. But it's a 4/11 on turn 4, guaranteed.
Right, you just drop them in conjunction with the blade. The sword is summoned into position to be able to chop them up. And it looks really good. I mean, Blade has already been, he's got great stats himself. It's a nice little package combo rather than going for the Culling Wing play, right? Culling Wing is also good, but you get that extra consistency. I don't know. Daken's been hard for me to be able to work in. It is also really good alongside Forge. If you set it up with the Forge beforehand, you're looking at a big, punchy guy.
It's sweet. I've been doing it with Wong and with Absorbing Men and just not bumping it until late so it's Shang-proof. And then I just win a lane by playing a bunch of 4 and 5 cost cards. I've got a 16 power Daken in one lane. And just say, all right, top it with your silly move things.
He can carry so well. But I mean, X-23, guys, come on. X-23 is so good. It's just the Destroy package, running her alongside either the Thanos Destroy is looking good, even in spite of the recent Thanos change, or running it alongside the Deadpool, which can really high roll people. It feels so dirty to be able to have this card where the control against you is always Killmonger, and you're like, no, that just makes me stronger kind of stuff. And then her ability to cheat out some extra pieces is pretty fantastic. I think X-23 is going to be really the lasting impact for Destroy.
All right. So, how did Conquest Affinity go for y'all in the month of August? Are you still enjoying the mode? What are we doing? Braude, excuse me. What did you think of Conquest this month?
I actually had a bad month, I think. I had 14 tickets and I won only 2, I think. But it's so annoying sometimes. On some level, right now, I feel that the meta is so wide. All the changes they're doing, that's it feels like rock paper scissors. And on some level, I actually missed the old metas when there was only one good deck, and then you could win on player diff. But now you can just queue a good deck but still lose because you lost the rock paper scissors on the matchmaking.
That's completely fair. Teddy?
So this one was an interesting season for me. I had a vacation in the middle, so I played way less Conquest than I normally did. I only had 2 infinite tickets, and we won off of one of those, so it felt
That's
amazing to be able to pilot that all the way through. Been loving the Forge, the Broodlings deck. A lot of people calling it the
Woodman.
absorbing Patriot, Iron
I like
Patriot, but I
Brood
feel like really the heart of the deck is Forge into Brood.
Brood
What
me.
was that, Glazer? Oh, the Brood Me. Yes, exactly. Like that one is so much fun to be able to drop, and I think it's still good, even with the new Absorbing Man change. Trying to feel out if I want to move any other cards around, but it is Stat King, and then being able to just end games as soon as possible with Legion to make sure that you lock stuff out if you can.
Ready for
Loving it, and I think that like Conquest still holds my attention. I want to grind it. I want to get through ranked as soon as possible to play more Conquest. Whenever I play ranked, it almost feels cheap. Like I know there's times where I have a very short amount of time to give to Snap, and so I'll play ranked then. But it's not nearly as satisfying as the full match, getting into the meat, anticipating my opponent and all that.
All right, gentlemen. Open question to either of you. Thoughts about the other August news? We got the PC launch, Twitch drops, card upgrade improvements. Sort of in general, if you want to give your feelings about sort of the state of Second Dinner. What do you apparently this summer the most profitable digital card game was Snap. So what do we all think about sort of the general Snap news of August?
It feels like the game is in a great spot. I'm loving the PC client. The update there, Twitch drops, was super hype with all the exploding audience around different content creators. And I would love to see just a little bit more like preemption on their end of communication of like, oh, and we're going to reintroduce, our plan is to reintroduce Twitch drops in like some way in the future. Like just that little breadcrumb trail of like what's coming up to be the next thing. Because I know they're working on stuff and they always end up delivering on improvements for us. It just feels like, I don't know, it could be hyped up just a little bit more preemptively, but we've got some awesome stuff going on. Rod, what's been your top new feature added?
I really like I really like the card upgrade improvements that you can upgrade a card straight from common to infinity. That saves so much time and it's so annoying. I think that's the best one.
Oh yeah, and next they just have to let us pick what kind of cosmetics we get, right?
Yeah, that I don't think is coming soon from all the news I read.
Unfortunately,
but actually, yeah, the thing I think they are adding many great features, but I do think the thing they are lacking the most on is like communication. It's like even the PC launch, it was like, I mean, it was like leaked a bit, but it was not officially announced until it just happened.
Yep.
Like they didn't say anything about it, and they said it's upcoming sometime, then it just suddenly dropped with no official announcement about to happen or anything.
Yeah, that seems to be their move, right? Like a lot of different big lifestyle games or long-running games like this will put out patch notes ahead of time, right? Like League of Legends, you see they've been running bi-weekly patches for their entire existence. You see the patch changes days before it goes live, and here it's like always day of for people, and it's just kind of seems to be their modus operatum. I don't know if they want to have the freedom to change things all the way up till the day of, or what is kind of driving that, but that seems to be how they want to run things.
They're not telling us what I think is the most important thing for me, right? At least, right? Like this was supposed to be a very, very positive feature when I did the show notes for today. A lot of my concern is they didn't release, right? But they know we can data mine. They fundamentally put this in the game early, allowing us to data mine. And we've got one Series 4 coming after this month in the next 2 months.
That's the only one.
There's one. Everything else is Series 5. And the data mines have yet to be wrong about this, right? Every single time it said Series 4 or Series 5, it's been right. And there's still no word on Series drops. I just want to know what's happening with Series drops. Because if they do it this way, by the end of that 2 months, by everyone's math, this is no longer a good system for anyone. So, like,
the Series 5 gets really draining. It's like last season where it was all 5s hurt.
Braude, thoughts? I feel like you have to. Your Marvel Snap news. What's the news? Give us speculation, if not news.
There are no news. They give no information. People keep asking it, and they just don't reply. I also was also worried. I think we're approaching the point where everybody said that it's going to become too big and it will be worse than the old system. Although even in the old system, like I was one of the highest CL players who didn't open a single Series 5, which is also like super maddening. I opened over 10k CL without a single Series 5.
Wait, I have a thought. Braude, how many collector's tokens do you have?
Oh. I just dropped below 100k. It's so sad.
That's all, man. Man. So sad.
Wow.
We feel you.
Yeah, ooh, man.
We over here feel you.
Yeah. Oh man.
So if I was to put the little tinfoil hat on, and I was to guess out of the ether, the second that it'll be mad, my guess is the devs want to run drops, and then somebody in marketing or like higher up says don't do it. For the monetization, they want to keep stretching it, and they're waiting for a resolution, so they don't say anything.
I mean, they don't say anything about anything.
I just think
Go ahead.
That's fair, but that's my guess.
I just think the problem is the model they did was wrong. Like they want a unique collection, but like I don't think you can do a unique collection game in a card that has 200 cards, where the first 100 everybody gets are the same. So like everybody gets the same Series 1 and 2, so you only have like 100 cards remaining. It's like if it was like a game like Hearthstone with thousands of cards, you can have a unique collection. But here the unique collection should be the split aspect and the variant aspect. Like nobody has my Savage and She-Hulk with ink and gold with the green crackle. That's my unique collection. But Savage and She-Hulk or just She-Hulk, everybody has it. So it's like that's meaningless, I think. But I think it's too late to change course for them now.
Yeah, exactly. Like the art, I think they created a setup where you can have a unique art collection to anybody else. And I think that's really cool. But yeah, they should just give up on the idea that you're going to have actually different character cards when they only release one a week. If they wanted to release like a huge booster pack, like, I don't know, they go crazy and they drop another 50 cards on us, then you're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go through those 50 in a different path.
I mean, you don't even have to do 50. Do what they did when they released Series 4 and Series 5 the first time, right? Like once or twice a year, just be like, here's 20 cards. Like 15 cards. Go.
Yeah.
That was hype.
It was, because everybody was like picking out, oh, what's your first one going to be? What are the other ones? And then you have these cards that really no one else is playing. And you're experimenting with a deck that, because at that point, with how few tokens you were able to get, it truly was. Like, I bought Shuri, like, very first day, and I think I was probably the only stream that was testing out Shuri decks.
What's amazing is that, oh, sorry. Braude, go ahead.
I don't think they have the dev capabilities to do that. The only reason they actually released the token system with, like, 16 cards is because they planned to do the Nexus events and release card weekly, and then it was delayed, and then they had, like, a backlog of cards. Like all the cards were like, you can see the seasons they were supposed to be in, like the seasons that only got a season pass card. But now they only have currently the capabilities to release one card a week, and even that it seems like sometimes they don't have like all the manpower resources required, and sometimes there are bugs or other stuff. I don't think they have the resources to release one card a week and also generate once or twice a year another 20.
Yeah, not even all the cards have animations. Mm-hmm. They'll just come out and be blanks. Or they'll be bugged and then they'll be reworked and stuff like this, yeah.
It definitely does feel like their design development team is very small, like the actual play designers. This sometimes feels like it's just Glenn, because he uses the word I to describe a lot of the things that he does. And you don't usually see that in these designs. It's like we, right? We is the thing. If you listen to Magic designers or Hearthstone designers, they'll say we. But Glenn uses I a lot, which is kind of telling of what most of the decisions are. But let's move forward with the future, both literally and figuratively. The big boy himself, the one we're all excited, people are excited about, his show back on Disney Plus, middle of October, is Loki. He is a 3 energy, 5 strength, Series 5 season pass card who says on reveal, replace your hand with cards from your opponent's starting deck. Give them -1 cost. Just for some clarity, for people who haven't played with it yet, it does not refill your hand. So if you have 3 cards in your hand, you get 3 of your opponent's starting cards, correct?
3 cards from their starting deck, but yes.
You start.
Can I say my single favorite thing about all of Marvel Snap? Like, I think that we have some of the smartest creators in any game or situation I've ever been in, and we universally suck huge ass at card evaluation. All of us. I did a poll with 50 creators. Both Teddy and Braude participated. It'll be up on Marvel Snap Zone soonish. Probably the same day this goes live. Where I was like, predict your ranking of the cards for the season. The last place card for the season is Loki. It's been a day. One person had Loki ranked in the top 2. Safety had him number 1. Everyone else had Loki at best 3rd. And like Loki is, if you miss this, straight up fantastic. Like it's at worst a tier 1.5 deck.
Oh yeah, no, it is an amazing deck. All right, here we go. To put it on the helmet to defend the honor of the content creators polled. The content creators were looking in their crystal ball, Glazer, and they were looking at Mobius, who's going to say no fun for Loki like all day. We're like imagining the meta when Mobius is out here. We're going to have to go right back to the drawing board on where this deck stands. But for now, it's straight gas, and it is so much fun. It is so much fun. Road, have you been jamming the Loki?
Actually, at the start of the season, I didn't know how good Loki was, and I wanted to reach Infinite fast, so I just stayed with the good old Shurikiri deck to reach Infinite. And I didn't. And once I reached, I didn't play much. But I do think that from what it looks like, is a very good card. But I do think Mobius, I think, will be like the most impactful card we had since maybe Legion or maybe even more. I feel like people just it packs so many stuff. Like even. Not even impacting specific cards, like even so many locations in the game, like having Elysium that only applies to you, or you ignore Dream Dimension, or the pick is good for you but never bad for you, or stuff like that. That's ignoring like how it can screw your opponent, Sarah and Zabu and stuff like that, or Death or Shialk, or even like maybe there will be a deck which is like wave dump, like you wave on 5 and then on 6 you still dump so many cards. Like I think it will be like. What Mobius can do is going to be like, I think at 2-3 is too strong. I can't see why it isn't like Luke Cage at 2-2.
Without breaking away from Loki for too much, I would start to be conflicted on playing Mobius if he was a 3-1. I think anything like more generous than that, and I'm running Mobius absolutely everywhere. But Loki, man, I think that what we missed on Loki was how good he is with Collector. The pop of your entire hand buffing Collector is just sending. I'm getting deja vu to the beta days when Collector gained +2 per card created in hand. It is nuts. Glazer, have you been jamming the Loki? Have you tried this Agatha deck, or are you running a more honest?
No, I'm not. I'm playing the Dino-less Dino that Safety made. I also have a Surfer list that's really good because it turns out Hitmonkey is really, really good if you can give -2 to all your cards. Not always going to get Hitmonkey.
All the other cards are so cheap. It's true. It's true.
So I'm just making a huge collector. Excuse me. To win a lane, and then I've got Hitmonkey going off if I draw Hitmonkey, and if I don't, I've got like a Surfer package in there. Both work stupidly well. This deck is great. Like I think we just missed. I don't think it's going to be great forever. I think that like Mobius is a needed card in the game as much as I'm not going to enjoy it. But like I think Loki is not good. It's great. I've seen so the nerf that's going to have to happen for Loki. The nerf that's going to have to happen for Loki is Loki cannot get a copy of Loki.
Oh yeah, that's what it just is insane.
50 power collectors.
The mirror, the mirror goes off the chain. The moment that really opened my eyes for Loki was I was playing it up against a Destroy deck. They played Shuri on 4, Nimrod on 5, and then they played Venom on 6 to be able to break it. And like normally, I think of that as a really oppressive line. If I don't have the control, I can't stop it. I didn't have control. Instead, I had Loki. I played Loki on 5. I got in my hand Shuri, Nimrod, and Venom. And with Quinjet, you know what? I played them all on turn 6. So what my opponent spent turn 4, 5, and 6 doing, I just did on turn 6. And I beat him. So that's where my eyes just like glazed over with little stars. I'm like, Loki is the new path.
So I had Kamartaj. And I dropped Loki on it and got another Loki. And then I dropped Loki on it. And then I got their collector and Loki again. So I did it again. And I was just like, what was that? That was... It was completely insane. Like, I don't think Loki inherently is broken. I don't think Loki can. Yeah, something's gonna have to happen. This card's real good.
But really, like I snap if I have Collector and Loki or Quinjet and Loki. If I have all three, then I'm no way I'm losing. But if I just have like two out of those, then I'm really happy.
All right.
Other Loki thoughts?
Do we think that there's going to be like just a stat bump down to him, or they have to just wait for Mobius to come out before they do any changes, right?
It's Loki, right? Like
Yes.
this isn't I don't know who's a shitty who's let that this isn't Dakin, right? Like where like Dakin's like got like 7 fans. Loki is Loki. This is one of the key Marvel characters. I think.
I mean, it's Loki in the Loki month as well.
I think you just let him be strong and let Mobius do the job.
Yeah.
I think they can eat his power and just that won't matter much. Like if it's 5 or 4 or 3, like even 3, I think it would be still good if it's too oppressive. Because I don't think they can change his ability too much. Like if they give them -1 cost, then it's just a shit card. But like,
what they need to do.
What if it had a maximum of how many cards he could replace? Like he replaced your first 3 cards.
Also, -1, give them -1 cost with a minimum of 1, like everything else.
Oh, no.
That's what they're going to do.
Oh, I love it. I love that's not there. It's missing a parenthetical. Glenn, you didn't type the parentheses. You put this on every other card.
Your 0 cost
Angela.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, like at the start, I remember at the start, I also think that Glenn was a bit of an asshole, I think, with his replies, but like, but I have to say that now I really like some of his replies, and also I really like is like he knows what he's doing, like with designing and balancing. Like he really understands the game. You can see that. Like sometimes the stuff you don't see, and then like he explains the thought processes. And like I have to say, he's really like has a really deep understanding of the game and balance.
I would love to talk to Glenn. Can we get him on a show sometime? I feel like we see Ben Braude all the time, but we need Glenn on someone's show. Just
I'm going to start bugging
man.
Glenn, and I'm going to make Marvel Snap News come on that episode too. And then I'm just then we're not Ryan and I are just going to be like, all right, go.
I have so many questions I want to ask him about stuff and like
I'm
design and like you can. I'm mostly active on Cam Best Discord. You can see like I'm complaining all the stuff about stuff or answer and then like it doesn't answer and then like so how does this answer is fine with the previous answer you gave? I like ask other people and they just tell me go ask Glenn. Like I don't want to bother you too much.
Hey man, I lost $40 on Mobius not working with Wave. I bet 2 people $20.
Oh, you put a bet on it?
I thought it was fun. Whatever. I'm not sad to lose it, but I definitely put some money on it that I lost. The consistency seemed like Wave was the trump card, right? Like the way he phrased it made it seem like Wave would be a trump card. And then they printed Loki, and now, we have to do something else. Does Wave stop Loki at all?
The stars, right? Wave will. She'll slow him down especially if he was played late in the game, right? You can wave and then really throttle them. But if they're playing Loki on curve, then you're probably seeing them vomit out all their cards anyway by the time your wave is out there.
All right.
Well,
ready to move on?
Will we find out at the next card? Alof, I believe is how you say it. Alof? Alioth? Oh. Alioth.
Like Goliath,
okay,
Alioth.
Alioth.
Yeah, the I.
Alioth.
Is sure. It's a made up word, so. All right. Series, like all words. All right, Series 5, 6K tokens, 6 energy, 5 strength. On reveal, destroy all enemy cards played here this turn, including unrevealed cards. Super, super cool card. Right. Teddy, thoughts on this big boy?
I don't like him. I think this guy is getting too much hype from a lot of other people. I think that he's going to flop. He's a Guardians card. Guardians of the Galaxy haven't made it yet. He's a very punchy one. His upside is huge. But I get in chat, every time Alioth comes up, people are like, oh, it's Alioth Galactus. Look at that. But like Galactus is pretty much always winning when he gets his activation of the Galactus ability already. I don't think he needs it's making the upside of that deck better, and it's not making him more consistent. I think he has chances of decks that he can live in, and like again, it's really impactful, so it'd be fun to play around with, but I think he's going to be the weakest card we get here.
Braude?
I agree that I don't think it'll be good in Galactus. I think Galactus is probably just be a win more card, but it could matter sometimes. Like I remember, like people used to say that like Null in the on Galactus was a win more card, but as a person who won a tournament with Galactus, I do see that sometimes like Null is like so much better than Death, even if like Death is free. But in general, I do think it will have some good decks, like even like Iron Lad or Absorbing Man him or Zola in game. I think it will have some good combos, but how good exactly it will be, we can't really know. Yeah.
You can get a lot of destroy combos. Like I'm looking at you play Daredevil right on 2, and then you play Wave on 4 to lead into Alioth on 5 when you see where they're dropping their one card. You get the destruction, you roll into Null. Because I'm assuming Null is grabbing the power of these destroyed cards revealed or unrevealed because of how Null is able to work with like Yondu and the asteroid location. You could also be looking at like an improvement on that Destroyer Orca Atuma Professor X deck. I feel like Alioth might be better at closing out games than dropping the Atuma, or sorry, not the Atuma, but the Destroyer or the Orca. So like there, when you've locked down a lane to your advantage, you throw out the Alioth, and wherever he needs to land, as long as you're ahead, you're going to make sure you get the dub.
So I'm convinced Alioth is going to be great, and my logic is entirely contextual. Second Enter have indicated that they've overpowered their lower cost cards to the detriment of their 5 and 6s, right? I'm not misspeaking, right, Braude? Yeah? Okay, yeah. Good.
Yeah. Not exactly. They said they under-designed the 5 and 6, that they mostly release like low cost.
So
not exactly that the high cost.
If they're releasing a 6 with this flashy of an effect, I have to assume internal testing says it's good. My logic is that if they're like, we didn't do what we wanted with 5s and 6, they're not going to release the most flashy 6 they've released since... ? What's the last 6 they released that was close to this? Galactus and Thanos, right? Like since the original.
No,
you're good call. No, since Null, and have it be bad. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. So my gut says that this is going to be way more powerful than we think. I still think it's going to be the 3rd best card of the season as of right now, just because I think this season is a little bit power creepy. But I still think it's going to be like an absolutely phenomenal, crazy good card. Like in a destroy build, right? Like in a Thanos lockdown build, like there's a million ways to make this work. In a lockjaw build, when you're running Odin, like you can play Sand Ramp with this. Like there's gonna be builds that make this really, really strong.
Yeah, I think there's ways to be able to squeeze them in, but my counterpoint is that I feel like they have undersold a lot of cards with any kind of destroy. Like as soon as destroy enemy cards is in the ability, they often undersell. Like Shang-Chi's the one who lives, and you're looking at stuff like Kingpin, no shot. Lady Deathstrike just recently, she's flopped. Even after her buff, she's still really hard to be able to leverage, and Alioth is like another one of those. We'll see.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
That's why I'm really cautious, because like
the Teenage Warhead too.
The kill that was promised.
Yeah. Right.
Any further Alioth thoughts, or are we good to talk about the worst card of the month?
Oh, what? The worst card?
The worst card. I agree.
The worst card of the month.
We just did.
All right.
Oh my gosh, guys. Renslayer is awesome.
Renslayer in her Loki TV show form versus her OG comic form. She was Kang's wife in the comics. All right. 3/4/3 Series 4 3K tokens ongoing. Your cards with 1 or less power cost 1 less. And sadly, this one has the parentheses minimum of 1. All right, Teddy. Make the case to these lovely gentlemen why Ravona over here, besides having some pretty good art and missed minutes, that's the selling point to me. What to you is the selling point for why this is the case? and then they'll destroy you.
Energy cheats are always good. Zabu's been king, Sarah's been queen forever. Like, these kind of cards that provide discounts always win out once you crack the deck building. And I've been broing over like all the cards that she's able to discount. Just Renslayer Goblins sounds incredibly fun and toxic and amazing to be able to slam up against our opponents. And like, releasing so close to Mobius is really interesting that they picked, well, Loki and her to be energy cheats and then Mobius to be the fun police. So we'll see like how oppressive Mobius is to her deck building, but like in regards to how good Zabu and Sarah are also going to be after Mobius, I think Renslayer might just kind of replace Sarah being a little bit cheaper and more flexible to get to the board.
How does she replace Sarah? Like, most of the cards you run in Sarah have like 2 power or 3 power, but no.
Especially if it's like Sarah on reveal Surfer,
You know what
stuff like
broke
this.
her for me? That if you bast, she turns off.
Yeah, that hurts. That she's caring about current cost, not base cost. So like the Mr. Negative Zeros, that doesn't work because he's going to flip them, and then she's not going to apply. And yeah, Bast is the card that a lot of these other cards she wants to run has been synergizing with, and it won't work there.
So I think Ravonna is terrible. I thought she was good. I tried to argue with it because, well, honestly, because I wanted it to be good. I like cost reduction. And Dan was like, prove it. Build the deck. And then he sat there and was like, why does this work? Why is this better than doing X? And I was like, oh, it's not. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's not. However, and I think this is important, there's no way to future-proof Ravonna. Eventually, she's going to be great. Even if she's junk now, at some point down the line, they're going to release a critical mass of cards with 1 or less power, and Ravonna's going to be phenomenal. I just don't think we're anytime soon.
I don't know. Iron Man Hawk Mystique is already looking pretty juicy.
Yeah, but what else are you doing?
she's got tools, right?
Yeah, so you could play those cards, but like that's 3 cards, and every other card that supports them has to have power. What is Iron Man doing in a deck that no other cards have power?
Well, he's doubling the ongoing ones and the cards that have power. You can still bring punchy cards. You don't have to have every card get discounted.
Yeah.
We see Zabu find success just if you're discounting 3 or 4 cost cards. I'll still run Zabu sometimes. So Renslayer, with just like a small package of cards to be able to hit key combos at like the final turns of the game, where you're dodging initiative and then coming out with your punch, that's what it needs to be.
I mean, it's possible there's like a Renslayer, Sarah, Iron Man, Mystique deck.
I mean,
bring Mystique all the way down to 1.
Iron Man to 3, right? Like, and then you can still play like
oh man,
other good stuff. Yeah.
Just play Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
That's what's missing for Adam Warlock to become a meta card. Just run Adam
it's
Warlock.
just the extra discount.
If my math is correct, with Ravonna, you can play Iron Man and Mystique on the last turn, right?
You can do that with Sarah as well. Or with Negative.
Yeah, as well. But what that does is create redundancy, though, right? With the effect.
Oh, like Angela Bishop, maybe. I mean, like Angela Bishop. I'm looking at the cards like Angela Bishop, Ironheart. Those are like...
Yeah, there's a slew of cards that Sarah already enjoys running that Renslayer could take over, and then you're looking at a card that herself can be buffed by Surfer if you want to go that side of the on-reveal packages. If you like doubling down with Wong or running Absorbing Man for extra consistency there, you got a fun package.
Wonder if they ever buff it to your cards with 2 or less power.
That'd be broken. Broken now. Like you just made it the best card in the game, right?
Yeah, I think this is one that can never be changed, almost for like the ability.
Yeah,
it's
you can make it a 3/4, I think, with some time.
Oh, for her base stats maybe could come up, or I wonder if you could remove minimum 1 and let her play with the 1-cost babies.
How is she 3/3 and Loki is 3/5?
Because we're really bad at card evaluation, Braude.
Loki power stats, where? I don't know. I think, yeah. It's just like, I love energy cheats, and every time they found success, so.
It's true, it's the most powerful thing in all card games. And speaking of energy cheats, mana cheats, whatever you want to say, this is a fun police card. The card I'm sure all of our loyal listeners and loyal viewers have been waiting for everyone to discuss. Besides having the best name, Mobius, he is a 2-cost, 3 strength, Series 4 that is a sign, I think, actually, this card is a card they want to get in as many people's hands as possible. 3K tokens, ongoing, your costs can't be increased, your opponent's costs can't be reduced. All right, Mr. Snap News himself, what is the good word on this card?
I do think he looks very powerful. Like, I think there are so many potential combos, like I said before, like just waving, and then you can play like a Doom and then a 2-drop or 2 1-drops. I think that's so good. I also think we're going to be like it's going to become like almost like there's the old Zabu where you just like whoever drops if only one side has Mobius, you just win. And then if both sides have Mobius, it's just a vanilla game.
So, Braude, what do you think is better, playing Mobius or like you have Mobius set up and then you wave on 5 to lock your opponent up, or do you play wave on curve and then you drop a 6 cost and they could just play a normal turn? Which is better?
I think they're both. Like, also, like I feel like I theory crafted them with like they can maybe even be a wave Sarah deck. It's like if you can like you don't play them both. Like if you Mobius on 5, you can either Sarah or just like wave Mobius and just like Sarah to just jump so many, or wave Mobius to just block your opponent for dumping and you dumping a few. Like I said, even just a wave dump deck where you just dump 1 and 2 drops and the opponent can only play 1 card.
So,
like does Jean Grey thrive then off of like the wave dominance
Jean
that you can establish, or something else
Jean
to lock him up?
Good. Like,
hit us, Glazer. What's the sauce?
I mean, the sauce is America Chavez. This isn't fancy. The game becomes... What my concern is that the entire game becomes who sees wave and who can counter wave.
It is also... So I got... Before, like, the people are running for the hills on nerfing this card, which I think his stats are too much for what he's bringing, but he is ongoing. And he's not like Luke Cage, where you can play him at the very end of the game and still get all the benefit. You have to play him early to actually throttle your opponent. And then he's vulnerable if you're running ongoing hate. So I think that we're going to see a lot of Rogue and a lot of Enchantress to be able to try and break the locks that he's bringing.
But then, and now we're back to like, can you Mobius the Lane I Mobius so that Enchantress is a bad play and then we're trying to go Rogue? Or can we like, are we going to see Echo? And like, I don't want the whole game to be Mobius, and I'm concerned that the whole game, like, I don't know how the whole game isn't Mobius. Like, Mobius and Wave is the most powerful thing you can do in Snap. Also, wait, one more thing before we go back to the actual card. So, 2 of the 3 of us, because Roy is peeing, agree that Silver Samurai was the strongest card last season, which means this will be 4 seasons in a row the Series 4 card was the strongest card. Spider-Ham, Legion,
because I mean Legion,
Samurai, and this. Because this is going to be the strongest card.
Actually, before the Spider-Ham nerf, I was so excited for this to be the Spider-Ham counter.
I hate Spider-Ham.
Like, it still is, but just Spider-Ham is less, like, because it will make the pig a zero cost for you. Like, they pig your Infinite, your Magneto or something, and you get, like, 0-12, 0-20, 0, even 0-5 is just, like...
Yeah, I was like, guys, the pig interactions, they're just so blind on that. They released the pig as a 4 base cost. It's like, why? Zabu is everywhere. Have you not played a single game?
I actually remember, deck? Like, like, once it was data mined, I said, like, if it's pigs remains a 4 cost, it will work with Zabu and Magneto, and I can see so many things, and then they're like, they added, like, after a week or 2,
Yeah, so then they moved it to a 0, which means that Mobius goes crazy, because if you have Mobius and they pig your card, that card's going to be a 0 cost. And now, of course, pig is just hitting the leftmost card, which is kind of cultivated to be one of your long-standing cards, likely to be a more expensive one, but not necessarily your most expensive one. So that's a very strange interaction. Pig is probably going to be played less, so it's going to be more of a fringe case, but it's so ridiculous.
Well, we'll get to the patch.
There's so many crazy stuff that Mobius is able to do here, like the interactions, breaking up stature, breaking up miles that we're seeing all over the place, and then oppressing the Sarah, oppressing the Zabu. Just like those make it interesting, and then the synergy with Wave, so you can use him aggressively, is what really puts him over the top for me.
I don't know what to do about this card, to be completely honest. Like, you play him
you say that I have 11 cards in my deck.
But no, you have 10 cards because you have to play America. Because you need him on 2. Because if your opponent has him on 2, You don't have him on 2. And now you're running Rogue because everyone is running him, right? So now we're down to a 9-card deck for every deck, except now that you're running him, you might as well be running Wave. Because like when you do see it and your opponent doesn't, that's a free win. And now we're down to an 8-card deck. And if you're running Wave, now you're running Doom. Because like why would you not run Doom? And now you're running Doom, so you're also running Iron Lad. You see the problem here? But we're down
always.
to like...
It just builds itself.
We're down to like a 5-card deck.
It's already solved for what the best combos are almost. Though I do see a world where if the meta is like a lot of ongoing hate, you just wave Mobius together on 5 rather than trying to set it out early. But I think that you run those tech cards anyway, because if when it doesn't come together, they still want to play Mobius out early.
You know what my plan is? It's literally a week before to be like, W, tell me what deck. Give me the exact right deck, W. And he's going to be like, here, and then I'm never going to lose a game of Snap again. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Totally. That's always what happens. Just find the right deck, and then you're able to cruise through. Get that jet ski variant because you're winning so much. He does have great variants. The Dan Hip one with the Vote for Loki pin and the Alligator Loki companion.
I'm all about hips lately. I opened for Hip Jeff. I was like, I'll never do that. And I was like, I'm opening for Hip Jeff. I want Hip Jeff. I don't have a Jeff variant.
Love it.
It's so cute.
Love it.
It's a gorgeous variant.
So, Braude, at what stat line do you start to hesitate to play this card? If he's a 2/1, you play him?
I think you even play him as long as it's 2 cost, I think, and like you play him.
Okay, so 2/0 is playable.
Yes.
2 -1?
Well, then he synergizes.
Bring
I'm
him
not
up
sure,
to-
but the Glenn said they're not going to do anything.
Okay.
Glenn said that they have to find a
That
very...
is like 2 -1 is like a little
Glenn
crazy.
said
but,
they have to find a very compelling reason to have a card with negative power.
Compelling. It broke the
yes,
game.
No, but like they're saying, like, for example, Darkhawk, they're not willing to like give him negative power because it doesn't make sense. Like only cards with negative power right now are Mr. Negative, where it makes sense, the Goblins and the Hood.
Mm.
Yeah, 100%. Those and the token void, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. And then we get the Nihilist and the Data Mine synergies with all these negative cards. Oh, it's exciting. But yeah, so if he goes up to 3 cost, a 3/3s I would play, a 3/2 I would play, a 3/1. That's where I start to wonder if I'm giving up too much.
3 cost means you can't play him with Wave on 5. That's like...
Yeah, that's the big breakup, right?
Yeah, like if you just playing him and Wave on 5 is just, I think, going to be a strong combo. Like even the like imagine you're playing versus a Sarah deck and then like play Sarah on 5 and you're just like no Wave and then you still get to play cards.
Like Wave already beats Sarah, and then you're like, yeah, Mobius plus Wave, eat it.
Even without the Wave, just they play Sarah on 5 and you play Mobius on 5. You just wreck their turn.
Yeah.
Their game.
Exactly. They took a huge tempo hit. They played a 4 power for their entire turn 5. You played a 2 cost 3 power plus something else, and then they don't get the benefit.
It's worth noting that even if your deck isn't trying to do anything with Wave or break anything, you still run Mobius, right? Because everyone else will.
Yeah, that's what I said. There are even just so many locations and some basic cards, like even just like, I don't know, countering, it's so rare, but like countering Swarm and Sabertooth or Shiralk and Death, stuff like this, it also counters.
What?
Abomination and
I
the
don't
High
think
Evolutionary. There's just so many utility
shouldn't counter
cases.
Swarm.
Or just some locations. It does. Swarm is a 2/3.
But it discards Swarm and
Swarm's
creates a new Swarm that's 0/3.
That is the base is 2/3. It's the same as Pig.
Yeah, but the
That's
base
insane.
of those is still 2/3. Like that's one where the card text does not make sense. Like that's the one where the card text feels like Swarm should be outside, but I think that Mobius will still hurt Swarm.
You consider the 0 is green. It's not a white 0. It's a green 0.
Yeah.
This is gross.
Exactly.
Let's move on.
But like
We're
it's competing with
right.
Jeff as like a universal 2 cost. I think I still play Mobius. It's competing like the other 2 costs he competes with to get 3 power. I just run him instead of any of these.
You're playing him in your Loki decks. Your 2 is now Mobius, and your 3 is Collector and Kitty.
I really like that Mobius is his own counter. That's like, that's what I really like about him. Like most cards are, I think it's pretty much the only card that counters itself.
All right, serious question. Like Mobius is a stupid Marvel character, right? Like as far as comics go, this character fundamentally doesn't exist. If you're gonna make this OP of a card, what character should it go with?
And what is Jeff?
I feel like this could have gone on some
adorable, at least cute.
He is adorable. He's got his own
This card
fan
is
club.
Owen Wilson. Come on. Like,
Yeah.
that's what this is.
Wow.
Just saying, people love
I don't know who
Owen Wilson.
the cost lock. Like, I'm wondering if even like Kang could have taken on this ability of freezing this advantage and giving himself the advantage. It doesn't quite fit with like his timeline jumping powers, but it's so oppressive. Like, I could see
And there's
people
already 2
embracing
cards
it
in
as
the
the
game.
Kang ability.
Iron Lad is also Kang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immortus
Make
would
an Iron
actually
Lad then,
be a good fit for this.
Who?
Immortus?
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Immortus?
Kang in the super future?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
that's
but
if you saw the spoilers for Loki Series 1, Immortus from the comics is kind of he who remains.
sure, but okay. So like, if it's gonna be, I want it to be like a really important character, like Zemo. I don't know why this would be Baron Zemo, but I want this to be an important character, right? Like, I want this to be someone who actually matters.
It's got to
in
be a
Marvel
time
lore.
travel character.
It doesn't have to be a time travel character to lock your costs in. Oh, I guess it's locking you in. Yeah.
Like, it
It's
makes
a time
sense
police.
as
It's
the
a time
time
police,
police that he has it.
Yeah.
Like, that's thematic, but yeah.
Rom the Space Knight. All right.
They don't have the license to ROM
I
anymore.
know.
All right. Well, now that we're just in lore, that is the warning sign that we should move forward. All right. The October cards have already been data mined. So
Wait, before we go further, thanks to Drew Berry. If you're watching on the Marvel Snap Zone YouTube, this is Drew Berry's data graphic because he is so freaking good at this. All right, go ahead.
Awesome. All right. So we have a Werewolf by Night, Elsa Bloodstone. I think the Werewolf by Night movie was one of the more enjoyable things Marvel's come out with for a while. So if you have Disney Plus, you should definitely watch it. So we have a bunch. We have an Elsa Bloodstone card, a Man-Thing card, a Black Knight card. Nico, glad to see her finally in a card, and Werewolf by Night himself. All through October, these sort of spooky, scary characters. We're going to be talking in October a lot about these cards, so I'm not going to read each and every one of them, but I'm going to throw it to our guests. Which of these cards are you most excited about? Which ones do you think are really going to dig in and sort of give us what your initial thoughts are about sort of the October season?
Okay, Elsa Bloodstone is amazing, especially with the Forgelings deck where you're able to like complete all your locations.
If she walks with, it says you play.
Oh,
So that's the question.
Yes, but so like you play the Broodling to fill, and then you play another card later.
No, but like,
to, like
would it back like Doombot and stuff like that?
No.
That's the question.
Oh, the Doombot? I don't think so
still,
because
like,
you're not playing
I think
the bot.
best card with Elsa right now is Kitty. That's like just Kitty.
Yes.
I get the 3 power each time.
You fill it and then you slab it. Oh my gosh, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, that's kind of insane what
man.
you could put onto Kitty.
That is nuts.
Though Black Knight is probably my top pick.
That's I wonder how it will work, because it will be the first card to discard after you're playing him. Will become a 4X with the same power. So like, I feel like it can has potential, but I also like it now that with the Blade you can target it a bit more. Like Blade can also always hit Apocalypse now, almost like depends exactly, because there will be a card you draw after it, but like stuff like that. Also, the Werewolf by Night looks really.
I think Werewolf
really
by Night is mine. Werewolf by Night's going to be good.
I do wonder if he needs to move to be able to get the power, or if he can get the power even without moving.
It's an end. It needs to move.
Yeah, it is and.
Gambit.
Is that how that works in Marvel Snap? Like, and
Braude is like a second gambit.
So actually, in Marvel Snap syntax, is that what and signifies that?
There are very
So it
few
has to
end
do the
cards.
first
Are
thing?
there any end cards? Like, there are very few.
Because the most
As soon as you say Marvel Snap syntax, it's just like there's not really syntax.
Yeah.
It's like in Magic, this
cards
would
just say things.
work without having to move. So,
any idea how the Nico Minoru works?
Yeah, that looks like all
No.
of her
So
spells look very
confusing.
good, but I think the balance about her, yeah, I think she just she just you get a card in your hand that you can play once and challenge each turn, like the old Snowguard. I think all the spells look really good, but the balancing thing about her is just you can't control what you'll get with 7 spells and it's randomly changing. So
Not not all of them are good for every deck,
that's the
though, is
thing.
the thing.
Like,
I'm
some of them
wondering
are just good.
that she always cast. So she has 7, right? And there are, with magic, a maximum of 7 turns in Snap. Is it like always on turn 1, she's going to cast 1, always on turn 2, she'll be the same spell? Or is it random? And if it's random, will I know ahead of time? Will I be able to click on her like Howard the Duck and see what next turn's spell is going to be? Because that really matters. I don't know.
And can she repeat? So can you get... What?
Yeah, that too. If it's random, can she repeat?
Also, that's going to be so
many questions.
She's the new Thanos. It's like so much memorizing. Like, I remember at the start when Thanos was released, I was like always so confused. It took me like a couple of weeks until like, I just see the color and I know what it does. It took me a while. I feel like it will be the same.
Well,
you may not know what my opponent understand what my card is doing?
So that's actually the thing I'm most annoyed about Kitty. It's sometimes like I don't look and I don't see the opponent play Kitty, and I like, I don't know how much power she has or stuff like that. I really wish they would like that.
Yeah,
there's
or
nothing that tracks it, even
pig.
like third party tool. Nothing that tracks Kitty right now or stuff like that.
The pig was the most frustrating thing for me because I trained myself to read chat at the exact turn timing when pig would go off.
Even like you press enter and you don't know when the turn will resolve. So like, you undo stuff like that. You need to look at the screen the entire time because it suddenly just happens and you missed it. Yeah, it's like
exactly.
So all right. Before we move on and go to November quickly, actually let's start with Roy. Best card of the month and worst card of the month.
I think it's going to end up being Elsa is going to end up being the best card of the month. I think she promotes a pretty plug and play style. And as much as it pains me, based on Snowguard, I'm going to go on a limb and say that Nico is going to end up being the worst card. Because I feel like she's going to be closer to original OG Snowguard than Thanos.
Braude?
But doesn't mean I don't want the card.
Yeah, I also think it's going to be Elsa. There's a slow chance it might be Werewolf as well, but like there are not that many decks that like play enough on reveals cards. Like there are decks that they have like strong on reveals, but like most of the cards are still not on reveal. But I do think that Elsa Kitty, or like even if it works like Doom Boss, it's going to be like, I think Elsa will be the best card.
Teddy?
I'm pretty high on Black Knight with the blade. I mean, I'm just these visions of Lady Sif cutting Infinite and then getting a 420 with no play restrictions dancing through my mind. Though I think it's gonna be close. And then without understanding Nico very well, I think that she has like huge variance, but she could be the worst card. I don't know. Werewolf by Night move is in dire straits right now, so I don't know about that one either. But yeah, probably Nico at the bottom.
So I think that Black Knight is best. I think the sheer amount of bullshit you can do just by playing him, then going Lady Sif into whatever, then going freaking Ghost Rider, and then still having it's just, I think that's going to be nuts. And I think it's super easy to pull off because of his cost. Just be careful with your docking because you're also running docking in that deck.
Does it go away from Hela entirely if you have this kind of power?
No, because it's not replacing it. It's just adding to your hand.
Right, but like if you can just run Ghost Rider and Black Knight now.
Oh yeah.
Do you cut Hela for like different options?
I think Hela's kind of boo. Like Hela's a trap.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning.
But yeah, no, I think that's a Sarah deck, honestly. Like it's like Zabu.
Or Zabu?
Yeah.
Heck, Zabu, right? Because you got Dracula, Ghost Rider, and then this blade.
I mean, if you have Dracula, now you have Ravonna Renslayer. I'm kidding. Let's move on.
Zabu Renslayer brings them down to a 2 cost. You can go back to the old Zabu days and pop them out on the final turn.
The worst card is Man Thing. Like, it's a 4 cost, and my 4 costs are an extraordinarily competitive cost slot. And, like, it's too often or too likely to be just dead for me to want to play it. And I think Man Thing is cool.
Does he have to say, like, what if he only affects enemies? Does that have to be his ability to look at this?
I think you have to consider him also with Annihilus, maybe.
Yeah. All right, maybe.
Wait, okay, hang on. Annihilus, we're going to look at in a second, but he will move lower powered cards from your side of the board to the enemy side of the board.
If they can't be moved.
And then he will destroy the other ones.
Yeah.
But you don't get the enemy's negative power cards, right?
It just all the 0 power and less cards on your side will jump over, and if they can't jump over, they will die.
So can I just say how upset I am that we didn't get the original data mined Anahelios, which was the coolest thing in the goddamn world?
It was
I
so
think
cool.
it was way too RNG
Move
and
was
stuff.
crying. Movement players are crying
Me?
somewhere off in a corner. I don't know where.
Here.
But
Also, wasn't the original Dynamite Black Knight draw a card?
Yeah.
that one was a bad original
Right.
design. I like the new
Agreed.
Black Knight. We actually had a super exciting mid-level design that they tried. This is why I'd love to talk to Glenn, because apparently there was a version of the Ebony Blade that when played to Black Knight's location, we didn't know what the stats or cost would be, but then you would destroy the enemy's best card.
Ooh. All right, that's exciting. All right.
Let's move to a much less. This is a weird month. I'm just gonna be honest with you of like what cards they picked to accompany the Marvels / Miss Marvel, but we are finally getting Miss Marvel as a card in November to celebrate the release of Marvels. Again, we're going to be talking about these in a couple of months, so I don't really. It's also a short season after like a pile of 5-week seasons that we've been getting. It only has 3 new non-season pass cards.
Wait, okay.
So,
before we go further, every other fucking month, Nola is in a spotlight cache. This is ridiculous.
How is this possible?
Because
I know he has amazing art.
also
but this is
Steven
crazy.
people
just
love Null, man.
Steven answered the
People
question about
love
it, and he
Null.
said that part of the reason for that is because of the variants.
It suggests that
For
they're
count of the
never
feature,
doing
there's a spotlight.
series. Wait, but it suggests that they're never doing series drops, right? Because like Null has been here
Right,
forever.
if we know...
Yeah, I actually just checked. In 4 days, it's about to be 200 days in Series 4.
That's insane.
Because he was one of the oldest cards in
He's
Series
the
4.
oldest.
Right when they stopped was when people were expecting he would come down to S3. And now we see him 2 months out still in Series 4. Like, that's... Yeah.
More than 2
I
months.
bet they regret not making him a big bad. But anyway, maybe swapped him and Kang or whatever. All right, so we got Miss Marvel, Gladiator, Annihilus, and everyone's favorite miscellaneous Captain Marvel tertiary character, Martyr. What do we think about this month? Cards we're excited for, cards that look terrible.
Okay, so Martyr is hilarious
martyr.
as a 2/6 moves to a
amazing.
location that tries to lose you
I
the
actually
game.
designed a very
It's
similar
so
card,
funny.
like a Goblin Captain Marvel, like it was a 4-4 or 4-3 that jumps over and then at the end of the game tries to lose the opponent. But this actually looks more interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, Annihilus is the one stealing the show for me. Though Ms. Marvel has incredible, like, puzzle potential.
I mean,
Miss Marvel,
super
I
cool
actually
card.
have to say she looks bad. Like, it looks...
Really?
It's 4/5, and I don't know, +5 power, but like... I feel like it's... I actually have to think about it, but how often like do you hand with a location with only unique costs?
Yeah, so that's the question, right? If you activate for one location, she'll be at a 410 stat line. That's premium. To be able to activate, you have to have your adjacent locations to Miss Marvel with only unique card costs. If you play one card, it's going to be unique.
Also, does it work on an
if you
empty
play-
space, or an empty location? Does it also count?
Yeah, I wonder if a 0 counts as a +5. That's an interesting way to really gain priority, if that's what you're looking for in the mid game.
I do wonder. Like,
She
I
also-
have to
her
look at
location
games.
doesn't
Like,
have,
how
like,
often do locations
unique
add
costs.
with only unique costs? I feel like it's not that often. But
never.
I am.
Well, it's because everybody's playing a lot of 4s and a lot of 2s right now. But if you were forced to play around it, how well could
But
you
if you're
do?
forced to
Is
play
kind of the
around it, like,
question.
is it worth it?
So
For the 415 stat line, yeah, I think so.
Because each card gets it, right? So if you have a 2 and
No,
the
just the
location. She's like a
locations get
Mr.
it.
She's like a Mr.
Location.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She adds power to the
So
So her
location.
ceiling is a 415. Her floor is a 4-5.
She's
not bad.
probably worth it if you're only getting one location.
She might be good, like in ramp decks, like where we
I mean-
like play Electro and
Yeah.
Wave, and then only 4, 5, 6 stuff like that. Maybe
I mean,
That
one
she can
lane
be
is
like a pretty big card.
one lane is Professor X and a time stone.
Yep. That's an 8.
Right.
Suddenly
like,
it's an 8. Jeff
No,
still
nope,
fits,
nope,
and
Jeff
it doesn't
breaks it
break it up. No, well, just Prof
unique
X and
cost,
Jeff is still okay.
cost. Okay, I read it as power.
Yeah, cost.
Okay, so Jeff
Yeah.
still fits. I mean,
I think he would actually fit in ramp decks. Yeah, like I said.
Yeah, there's some value here.
Yeah.
I think it's the
Gladiator
only.
is
she's a
the
cool
weirdest
deck
card.
building
I
puzzle.
feel like Gladiator
The
feels
rest
so
of
good.
these cards. Do you think Gladiator's good? I think Gladiator's atrocious.
I think most of the time it'll just be a 3/8 that destroy the top card of your opponent's deck.
Most
Just a
of the
3/8
time, but
Yondu
when
most
it's
of the
not,
time.
it's a 3/8 that you just lost the game.
Yeah.
It's that, but
Right.
when it's not, so it's like but I still think most of the time it's just a 3/8 Yondu. Or you can still buff him if you want before or something. I think
So the 3/8 super oppressive, like that's crazy. But
also like it's
yeah,
a
when it
3/8
doesn't
Yondu that
destroy,
like
it's gonna
it gives
bite
you
you.
information and stuff like what card to destroy, and sometimes although with that the difference between this and Yondu that it still summons the card, so like if it's like an on-reveal, the on-reveal will still happen or stuff like that. So I do wonder exactly.
If it was that good, it would be
true.
a Series 4.
Ooh,
Because it still summons the card to the
ouch.
opponent's side. Let's say it summons Doom, it destroys the Doom, but the opponent still got the Doom boss and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I do.
I don't think it's
Right.
playable.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think it's playable.
But like it
But
can
at a
work with
3/8
Null maybe.
though,
I don't know.
Like, I think
you can or
Martyr is
still at
probably
zero decks
better.
like zero at Sentry, yeah, like zero Sentry Gladiator, Martyr, like need a new zero deck. I don't know. Also, Martyr, I think is going to be
but for
good. 2/6, and you can just fill up your lanes or stuff.
Yeah, Martyr's going to be
And
good.
Exactly. I think she
And
could
it's
just
still
be
pretty
good.
hard for a
2/6
6 power
is
to like
nuts.
move and lose you the game. It's like it's still
Yeah.
6
Listen,
power.
like-
It's still 6 power. Yeah.
Whenever I play Silk, that's what she's trying to do anyway. So now a 2/6 is even better.
Oh, poor soul.
But it's true, like that Silky Movement deck is gonna pop with the punch from Martyr. For completeness here, do we want to talk any
No.
Annihilus? Cards with 0 or less
Annihilus,
power,
like I-
you throw the void over to them, and then you
Like I said
break
with
up
Man-Thing, maybe.
all your destroy
With
pieces.
Man-Thing, maybe as well.
I don't get this man thing that
Yeah.
you're on, bro. Why does man thing
With
work?
Annihilus, you just like add debris and then you give them the
You-
rocks and stuff. I don't know.
I put cards on my side of the board. I make them weaker with man thing, and then I give those cards to my opponent. Like that doesn't make sense
so
to
much
me.
work.
What
so
am I
much
doing?
work for nothing.
Right.
The Brie
I want
Annihilus,
to
like
play-
the Brie Annihilus, Sentry Annihilus, like Goblins, stuff like. I think the Brie Sentry Annihilus
Yes.
can be so good.
If
I want to
Ravonna
play,
goblins
uh,
are overpowered,
Sentry.
this will stop
The
that.
Brie Sentry Annihilus just
Sentry-
locks up your opponent's board. The 3/4/5. The Brie Sentry Annihilus just locks up your opponent.
And you don't have to.
Isn't this
Cosmo
just
will
a
stop it.
cheaper destroyer with some upside?
Yeah, you can Cosmo Annihilus, but the thing about Annihilus is just it doesn't care where he is, so it's harder to Cosmo him. It's not like a goblin that you have to play him on the specific lane.
Mm-hmm.
You can.
Yeah,
It's harder to
he's
snipe him
full
because you can play him
board.
wherever you want.
There's no way he's good. I just don't think
Really?
he's good.
I don't know. If I get
Like,
so
you
if
can sell
get
me on
Magic out there, he could go crazy. But
he.
I feel like when you play, you need a way to protect Sentry. But once you're popping Void over to their side of the board, and then you're destroying like an X-23, a Wolverine, a Nimrod, if you've been able to accelerate with the X-23, that could go crazy.
Yeah, I
mean,
feel like junk decks.
again-
Like junk decks are always, I think, underappreciated. Like I like sometimes I play in tournaments. I maybe just like player decks, but there are some players who always play so good with junk decks, and I feel like they're getting some very useful tools now.
So you have to play a junk deck in the
Yeah.
next Marvel Snap Battle Arena? Is that what we're saying?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, see,
I don't think that's
exactly,
what
because
they're
this isn't going to be good.
saying. Maybe in 2
I
months.
mean,
I
I'm
don't
just-
know.
Slightly confused here, though. How is this just not a slightly weaker version of Destroyer?
Your cards have
Like,
to have
isn't
0
it
power.
just redundancy for this deck?
Yeah, it's
No,
and it's not
you
destroy them. It
destroy
first
all the
flips them
ones
over.
that don't.
It clogs the opponent as well.
Yeah,
No, but I'm saying like in a median game, like so. The way I read this, right, is it destroys all cards it
No,
can't
no,
move
no.
over.
It destroys
Yes.
Yeah.
all 0 cost cards it can't move over.
Yeah.
All
It's
zero
not destroying
cost
your like 6
the
power.
zero power.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Power,
okay,
right.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's not just destroy the more expensive
No.
cards?
It's all your 0 power or less
Yeah.
cards will be moved over, and those that can be moved over will be destroyed. Every card that has 1 or more power will stay.
Oh.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's a way to get the void over
Like, and even
with,
if
like,
they
a
fill the
choked up
void lane, you just
lane.
kill the void. It's still like it's not like the
Yeah.
void will stay. It's like the worst case, the
Well,
void will
that's
just
got-
die.
That's got value.
This is a good junk card. Yeah,
Or
If
like
that's the way it reads, then yeah.
debris and Nihilus is just like you clog the lane so much and you free up your space.
You know what this is going to beat the hell out of? The Brood Me deck.
Like even like okay, Annihilus with Collapse Mine. It's like Annihilus Collapse Mine.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Glazer, is this the 4K one?
No, the 4K one is Martyr.
It's gonna be Martyr.
So Martyr's going to be the best,
Of course,
because it's 4K. I'm convinced that they do this kind of thing on purpose. Okay. I'm not even kidding. I think
they also put bad cards in every single pool, though.
Did they put bad cards in every pool? What like? I guess okay, fine. Lady Deathstrike. What was the bad card the month before? So I think 2099 is good. I think people are just wrong.
Glenn actually said that 2099 is performing pretty well, but it's just
like,
underused. But I don't know.
I hit Infinite with it last season. Stop thinking of it as a destroy card.
I mean, Infinite is not that. Like, I'm pretty sure. Like,
but think of it as a stats card, not a destroy card, and it's good. If you think of it as
I actually think like if it was released when Ghost Spider was already a 1/2, I think it would have been like much more. Like, I don't think anybody tested it after Ghost Spider went down to 1/2.
It's good. It's not like a great card. It's not broken. But, like, it's basically always a 4/10 plus if you play
also, I think everybody was disappointed it only destroys once no matter what.
Yes. That was so sad.
That was so disappointing.
Yeah. Can we just change that and then bring him back? I mean, even if you have to give him a slap on the wrist, take him down from the 4/6, let him destroy a bunch of stuff.
If you like can move him like 3 times and then just pop off like Iron Fist, Ghost Spider, like Iron Fist 2099 Ghost Spider on the last turn could be so crazy or stuff like that.
Yep, I'm here for it.
All right, well, let's leave the future and return to the present to discuss the patch. All right, lots of big changes launching the day we recorded, and about a couple days after, I think this will probably go up on Thursday. So a couple days later. So Blade has same stats, but now says discard the rightmost card from your hand. Spider-Ham has a similar change. The leftmost card gets pigged. All right, Absorbing Man, straight nerf down to just 4 for 4. I'm going to skip Snowguard.
Okay, so these changes are so strange to me because they moved Nakia specifically away from the clunkiness of hitting certain cards in your hand to the whole hand, and then they're moving these cards to like weird targeted specific sides of the hand back there.
I think the difference is that Nakia was like, it was usually bad the cards she hit, but like Blade hitting the rightmost card is usually good, and like a lot of times it will be just Apocalypse. So and Spider-Man hitting the leftmost card is still, I think, usually hitting the big boys because the big boys migrate left, except for like the rare case of Apocalypse and stuff.
No, man, Spider-Ham is bad. So what they're pretending that this is.
No, it wasn't nerf to Spider-Ham. It wasn't nerf to Spider-Ham, but I think it like a lot of times can hit the good card like that on the left side.
What this nerf to Spider-Ham means is, oh shit, they were right. We shouldn't have printed this. This is what that nerf is. It's the shit.
He's a card and a half.
We 1,000% shouldn't have done that.
When he was announced, I was like thinking with my buddies, like, hey guys, if they printed a card that said show you what your opponent's most powerful card is, and that's it, would you play it? They're like, maybe. Well, how about I take away its ability too?
I actually think that was the biggest thing. Like
the
Spider-Ham, the problem with him was actually that he showed the card. If you just hit the card like Iceman and you don't see it, that's the thing. Like
exactly.
if it was just like Iceman and just like leash the biggest card they have, but you don't see what it is. Because just knowing that they don't have the card is such a big information. I think that's actually could have been a bigger, like leaving it the same, but not having you see it. I think would have been actually a bigger nerf.
Would be huge because there have been times that I've just hit like their Shang, right?
And you just
finish a card, but a very important card.
Yeah, when you hit that specific card that you want to hit and you know it, that's so much. Like if you just play it like you know their deck and you know they only have 1/6, but you play on 5, but you just don't know if you hit it or not.
You know what kicks the shit out of Shang?
This also does mean that repeat activations of Spider-Ham is no more, right? It's going to hit the same card over and over again, whereas before you could hit multiple cards.
Yeah.
Right. This Blade is great, though, right? We did that earlier, but we should like reestablish that Blade is great.
Yeah, Blade with Dakin.
In like multiple homes.
It also buffs Hela a bit. Like you can control him a bit better.
So safe with Hela, safe.
Lockjaw.
One of the safest cards with Hela now bar
so
none.
we've got 4 targeted discard cards now, right? So, that's amazing.
Blade.
Sif, Samurai, Wing, Blade.
Blades, yeah.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. It's exactly what those cards wanted.
Yep.
Hot take, ready? Brood me is dead.
Hit me. Oh, absorbing 3 points?
Yeah.
3 points and it's dead?
I think it was winning games closely. I think it's dead.
Wow.
I think it's dead. I think that Brood lane being so hard to even deal with when it got buffed. Think about the difference in a game of Marvel Snap between 15 power and 18 power. Right?
Yeah. It's a big step. It's a big step.
I think that I don't think it's dead. Dead is too strong, right? I think it's no longer in the top 5 decks in the game.
Yeah, it definitely loses the fastball because turn 4 is pretty important for a number of locations, being able to win and then get a benefit. And that's where Absorbing Man is hitting and locking it in at all these different places. So
still a good card, just not in that deck. Or that deck.
Absorbing Man is still good, but yeah, the combo it loses a little bit on the fastball. But Snowguard,
Snowguard,
you can see the variant, all right, guys.
Wait. Let's read what Snowguard is.
All right, Snowguard is still a 1/2, but now puts 2 different cards in your hand. The first is the Hawk variant of Snowguard. So this is a 2 for 3 that has on reveal, ignore all location abilities until the end of the turn.
No, until the end of the next turn. It's so much better.
Next turn, excuse me.
The difference is from now until the end of the next turn. Before it was from the start. Just they added a duration from now until the start of the next turn. You can play to priority to cancel like Sinister London or Kamatari or stuff like that.
I lost a game because my opponent on the last turn of the game dropped the Hawk and then 3 other things into a Death Domain.
Yeah, it's what Hawk has always needed, because before the opponent could fully prepare for it at the same time that you wanted to play into this locked out location. Now you just rush in with the Hawk immediately and they can't really stop you. Now it's important, I know a lot of you guys have a lot of experience with Snowguard. Some of you might not for some reason. If you're not familiar, it does bring the location effects back for the point totals at the end of the game. So if you were really relying on a location being disabled for how you were scoring the end turn or the end game, it will not help you there, but it will help you get cards in where your opponent doesn't expect them.
Yeah. So it is the same, even though that they added that new text.
The end of the game is the same. They added the current turn is the new part.
Okay.
Yes. This
before
is just
it was
a
always the
clarification
next
for those
turn.
that for some reason might not have played very much
was
Snowguard
meaningless,
before.
except for before playing Orcon 6 was meaningless, but now playing Orcon 6 can matter with Death Domain or Kamatari or stuff like that.
Okay, so I think people are really high on Snowguard. I saw one very competitive content creator go so far as to put it top 5 cards right now.
Also, just the thing about it is just so good, especially with Loki, it's just a 1/2 that gives you 2 cards to your hand.
On those cards, might buff Collector, might be discounted by Quinjet, or might just get turned into more good cards.
It's just a 1/2 that generates 2 cards. That's just that is good.
I mean, she smashes Legion, right? I'm gonna lock this game up.
I think they can be combined. I think they can be combined.
I mean,
I think the Snowguard Legion decks.
Christ. I don't think it's the top 5 card in the game, but I think it's a top 5 1-drop almost without question. I don't know if it's as good as Sunspot, and I don't know if it's as good as Kitty. Maybe Iceman, I guess, and I think it's better than everything else.
Iceman is so under. I think I actually in the tournament I played a couple of days ago. In Best of the Besties, I played the mirror match and the opponent just swapped Jeff for Iceman in my Shuri Kitty, and it's almost the same as Spider-Man and Samurai on that level that you can have the nuts and then they just Iceman you on 5 and you can't or 4 and they eat your Shuri or Taskmaster or something and you can't put your combo anymore. Just Iceman is so disruptive.
Oh yeah. Now, Braude, do you see any time to play Snowbear? When are you using Snowbear? The Hawk is amazing, and then Snowguard giving you the other cards is great. But I think Snowbear just sits.
It's similar to Legion, playing it on 6 on Monster Island when the opponent filled it, or you can still do what's it called, Central Park with him or stuff like that, or Savage Lands. There are still many locations like that can help.
because it does nothing
just for the token spam.
No,
on,
even
like,
just you
on
can still
turn
activate
three, blow up.
the energy locations or Wakandan embassy. All these locations, there are so many locations like this. You can still like.
But for example, it doesn't work like on the on turn 3 do this ones, right?
No, it doesn't
So you
work with
can't,
turn-based
Right.
locations. No.
Okay.
Yeah, so you cannot reactivate Bifrost or something like that.
But just reactivating the token generating or the energy ones or Wakandan embassy, stuff like that, or even the hub, the stuff that generates cards, all those are still enough locations that it's good for.
So you know what one of the worst 3-drops in the game right now is then? Magic.
What?
Magic is so Magic is so goddamn unplayable right now.
Yeah, that's also actually. That's also actually. At least now you know the opponent. At least you know the opponent will have Hawk. But now on the previous Snowguard, you had to play a Hawk on 5 to cancel Limbo. But now you can play a Hawk on 6 to cancel Limbo. That's a big difference.
I feel like, I mean, we still see decks doing great with a Leech incorporated alongside Magic. They'll run Cosmo as well, and so they can still do okay.
Thing on 5, like especially in Conquest, right? Like just drop the Hawk on 5.
But like
Legion, you can drop Legion on 5.
The thing is that then the opponent knows it's coming, right? So
sure.
If they play it early to cancel Limbo rather than the gotcha of changing it on 6, the opponent can adapt their game plan. The person playing Magic can adapt their game plan.
But then they just played a 3 and a 5/3 as 2 of their major cards while you're playing real cards.
Yeah, it's a disadvantage, but it's not nearly as bad as like losing it on 6. And then there are some people who are playing Magic and then canceling it themselves for tricks on the opponent who's then changing their game plan. The mind game potential is amazing.
All right, last but not least, Soulstone no longer draws you a card.
Boo.
It had to happen.
So unnecessary.
I mean, the Grand said that it was just a straight up. It's not about sim or anything. It was just they wanted to hit Thanos because it was too good. That's what he said. That it was just intended to be a straight up nerf.
He's right. But I like.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm sad.
I liked Soulstone specifically because it was playing with the new interactions that they baked into both Mystique and Absorbing Man of being able to grab both parts of the stone. And I was really rather hoping that they would cut the draw from Greenstone rather than Soulstone, but they cut it here.
Yeah, they said all the cards have 2 abilities, but I think all the cards have 2 abilities. Just Soulstone had 2 keywords, but all the cards had 2 abilities.
Right, it's just the 2 keywords. Like
energy and all the... I have like energy and I don't remember the other stones now. Just draw a card and do a thing anyway. That's the other thing for Soulstone was an ongoing and not an on-reveal.
This is a real big nerf, though. Like a big nerf.
Yeah, the human spider is so sad right now after he won Best of the Besties and finished the 2nd place in Battle Arena and the Stamford Open. I saw there's the Johnson Cup now, and he said he's so bummed out now that they nerfed his Thanos.
Can't blame him.
All right, let's talk about some general patch thoughts. All right.
The first question is, I genuinely don't know the answer, by the way.
From what I know, I think from what I figured out, and also from what the roadmap said, this is the global phase-making phase 1. So I think they just combined regional server like US East and US West and Europe Central and Europe North, stuff like that. There are still multiple servers, just less. I heard a report of people on US East and US West playing each other, but I still the US East still seems to be separated from the rest. So I just think they combined the regional servers.
So there's now continental servers.
Yeah, something
so
like
a Europe server.
From what I heard, I didn't see any confirmation. There are now probably there was 7 or 8, and now there are 3 or 4, I think.
I think with the new ladder board introduced, global matchmaking is going to be really important because people getting to see the rank disparity even more glaring is going to make them think this matchmaking is bad, and they need to broaden the pool to try and get these closer brackets together.
I was actually always wondering what are the differences between regions in matchmaking and MMR and stuff.
Now you know.
Also, what do we think? Before the stream, before this podcast, I went to sleep and I was 99, and I woke up for 183 without playing. I think all the people are just entering Infinite now, and you're just dropping freely now.
Yep. it's going to be bad if you were hoping to stay very high. I woke up at like 120 something. I played for several hours. I dropped to 160 over the course of playing. I played rank 12, which was the highest I went, and I played somebody just below rank 1000.
But the
and
thing
then
is,
otherwise, it was all within that
but the
bracket.
thing is, that's fine, I think, for rank 100 and something to play the rank 12, because there are only 100 players at the top 100, and if they're on different servers and they're up at different times, and you want the queue to be like, you have to have the top 1000 play with each other.
Yeah, like I was pretty happy with that, honestly. Now, it is very early, right?
Yeah,
so, like,
the
rank 3000 might not have existed on my server
the fact
yet.
that it's still early in the season and most people are not infinite. Like, we'll have to wait, like, let's see what happens at the middle of the season after most people that get infinite got it, and then like we'll be like top 5k, top 10k, and then we'll see how it works exactly.
I miss summer. I used to infinite in the first like day and a half, 2 days. Now I gotta go to work.
I remember on the early, like I remember on the launch season, I finished the season at rank 350, and then they released the leader, released the leaderboard. And I remember they released the top 10. The 10th was 364, so I was 14 ranks below, and I was so bummed out. And next season, I tried to grind and I couldn't.
Oh.
And then the next season, the surfer season, I got so high. I got like, I think I was top 10 according to Snap on the other side. But then they decided to stop posting it, and I was so bummed. And that was the moment that I just decided I hate ladder post infinite.
Which is a big deal. Now I got infinite questions in chat today. Hey, where can I see the leaderboard? You can't, right?
Currently,
There's no
you can't.
Public leaderboard.
I know that some third-party sites are working on it, but there's currently no official tool. They said that they will consider it. When they just, I don't know. They guess they wanted to push it out. That's what we said. It's like they have so many things there, but they're just limited on their resources, it seems.
It's like they weren't ready. They don't have a public leaderboard. They did not explain how the ranking is calculated. And
can someone try and explain how this works? Because I'm so lost. Like, I'm not even trying to be...
Once you reach infinite, you get a rank, which is just your position at the leaderboard. Higher is better, one is best, and then you have a snap cube. Snap points.
Why does it care about your... Why does it care about your
rank? The leaderboard is the ranking of the snap points. Higher snap points mean you're higher ranked. The thing is that right now it looks like
so you play...
snap points is equating directly to cubes. That's what it looks like. Like winning 4 cubes. Like winning 4 cubes, it doesn't matter if you won 4 cubes versus a bad player or versus a good player. You just won 4 cubes, so you'll get 16 points.
I don't think that's true.
Like.
I think it is adjusted.
I think it's MMR.
From my experience, it looks like it's adjusted. So it cares about how many cubes you won, and then how far apart your ranks are, and then it adds to your snap points or subtracts to your snap points, and then compares your point total to everybody else in the world to give you the rank.
But the basic gist is you have snap points when you win. When you win, you gain snap points depending on the cubes, and they say depend on the cube and your difference to your opponent. And when you lose points, and then the leaderboard is just always the most snap points.
I have a question. Wouldn't it be easier, since there's not supposed to be MMR post infinite anyway, to just to just do highest rank, like just sheer number?
But that's the thing. The highest rank. That's the thing. The highest rank is different because if you win versus someone good and lose versus someone good, you will stay on the same cube amount.
Yeah,
versus
but I get it.
It's still a better score than winning versus someone bad and losing versus someone bad.
Yeah, I get it. I think that's just like they're overthinking it. Just be like remember what were they? Codeco hit like rank 1,000.
Yeah, but that was in the bot. That was back in the bots.
Yeah, and look, pretend that it wasn't, right? Like, for the purpose of my example, they would be number 1, and then Collins was ranked 570, and he'd be number 2, and then person X is ranked 540, and they'd be like all of this shit feels.
But it's still mostly the same because cubes are still mostly directly like comparable to snap points. It's still mostly the same.
It feels a little bit more competitively interesting to people, Glazer, to like chase after if you know that it's not just how much you grind. Like, say I don't play as much ranked ladder as whoever got 1,000, right? That's no shot. But if I play them and I win because I was smarter and whatever, and then I'm going to get like some catch up basically because I was ranked lower, that makes me feel like it's more interesting to pursue. You know, so it's kind of like player perception to get people more engaged. If you can throw the upsets, you'll climb up and be able to show off, kind of stuff like that.
Are you guys doing this? Or are you going to conquest? Or are you both?
I'm still not sure.
I'm going to conquest.
Actually, I feel like now when I played the rank, I feel like I'm so used to conquest and like matches where it's long and ranked. I feel it's so much more random, like where you don't know what is in your opponent deck and can't expect. And like I really prefer battle mode so much more.
Yeah,
Same.
I don't even like battle mode that much more. This is just, it makes my head hurt, so I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I will race probably at the beginning of every season, and then I'll see if I can hit top 100 within 48 hours. If
Yeah,
not,
I think
I'll
that's
probably
actually
not
the
try
best chance to
anymore.
win top 100 is just get infinite fast before other people are in it. Like that's
100%.
what happened to me. Today I entered into 93 and I just dropped, and after one match I dropped to 95, and then I went to sleep at 99 and woke up at 183 without playing. I just dropped 90 ranks without playing.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, I was winning games and dropping because people were winning by larger margins.
Or entering into
else.
the system, yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we've already talked about the series drops earlier. So, anything else that you would like to talk about the patch, things like that, as we start to bring this episode home? All right. Well, let's take a quick look at the meta as we think in this sort of post-Loki, post-patch world. I'm going to slightly tweak this. Teddy, what deck, and this will be for all three of you, what deck are you playing right now? And what deck would you recommend that our loyal listeners and loyal viewers pick up?
If you can play Loki, it's so fun. I've just played basically nonstop Loki for the last 2 days. If I'm trying to be, when I go to Conquest, I'm going to try Loki and see where it lands, but I'm also going to do the Silky Movement deck. I think is going to be my other, from the old powerhouse. I think that it survived better than the Broodlings deck that we talked about a little bit after the Absorbing Man nerf, and then even Snowguard there is looking pretty nice. Wave Doom fits in that deck as well, so I think it's positioned very solidly.
I am still. I have to admit it, but I'm a meta slave. I just like meta decks. I'm currently playing Kirishuri. I'm actually in a group with KM and Lambi and Toriko and a couple of Iron players, and they're always like sharing craft decks and discussion and stuff. And I always like feel like I'm not that good at deck building, and I just wait for them to give me the good deck so I can play it.
My general perspective on that group, and they are phenomenal players, I talked to literally everyone you mentioned, is that they're too conservative. Like, I think they find
it
really
could
good
be, but
shells.
I don't think they're experimenting. I don't know. I'm not the one who's building the decks mostly. I like sometimes throw some ideas.
I got to bug Lambi about this.
But I do sometimes throw some ideas and they help a bit, but I think I'm mostly there just to listen or like give gameplay tips or stuff, but not the deck building part. That's what I feel like, at least. I don't know.
So, I'm going to hit Infinite with something stupid. I don't know what yet. I'll decide as I find something fun. I decided that all through my Conquest run, I didn't play a single meta deck. I ended up going 2-8 in Infinite Conquest. I feel like that's fine, especially considering, like, I'm playing Phoenix High Evolutionary Surfer, and I'm playing... Sorry, Jean Grey High Evolutionary Surfer, and I'm playing Phoenix Shuri Nimrod with Red Skull, right? Like, I'm playing my own stuff, and it mostly beats meta decks. It usually, like, this is a rock, paper, scissors meta, right? So, like, the stupid Shuri thing, the Phoenix Shuri thing, would beat Destroy, usually, and it would beat the, like, Brood Me deck, and it would beat the Move deck, but it had no shot against the, like, Thanos deck, the Peaceful Seal Thanos deck. Like, it would just die horribly, right? So, like, if you could manage to get 5 without seeing that deck, you were just like, cool, I win, right? But, like, and then the, like, Phoenix deck was really good against that Thanos matchup, and it was really good against the Move matchup. But if it's all Brood Me, and I beat Brood Me, but, like, there was a player diff, right? Like, if you saw Brood Me, you needed to get that lucky 8 cuber to, like, really have the chance, because it was putting too much power in one spot, and, like, it sure doesn't care about your Jean Grey, right? So, like, I feel like that's where the meta is, and that means matchups are so much more important. And I think it's really interesting, and, like, it means that, like, I can play sort of silly jank that has good matchups into this stuff and win. Also, I think the best deck right now might end up being Destroy, because there's not enough armor around because of the Loki stuff.
That's what Showy Kitty coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shuri Kitty's popping off. Destroy's been off of their best season and still rolling pretty high. The Destroy is one that if they don't have the answers, just like Shuri, Nimrod, anything turn 6 is really scary.
Shadow King
if
is
you don't
the
have
answer.
Cosmo or armor.
Shadow King is so good.
Yeah, does Shadow King need to come
back? That's why
back?
Shadow King is so Shadow King beats Kitty, it beats Brood Me, and it rocks the face off Destroy. Yeah, Collector, Destroy, yeah. Shadow King is unbelievable right now. Like, unbelievable as a card.
That's true. Resetting a 20 power Loki Collector would feel pretty dang good.
Yeah, Shadow King is really, really strong.
You know, it's funny. All the cards that were released with Zabu as a 4-drop at 4 cost are now 3 costs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They keep moving them away. I feel like they've actually, like we're seeing a weakness in their design with Zabu. They're starting to either pull cards away from 4s or then nerf 4s because Zabu exists.
I think Rock Slide was still buffed, but that's fine.
I mean, it's a side grade. It's not a buff or nerf, I think. It depends on the...
Yeah. Deck time draw perspective. All
right. Let's bring it to our final segment of every episode, our variant of the week. All right. I know at least 2 of us picked the variant on the left. So let's start actually here with the variant on the right. Who picked this very cool one right here? Who picked?
It was you, Braude.
What did I pick? I don't even remember. I picked the one on the right.
You got the spotlight cache. You've got the spotlight cache.
The rest of us picked the other one. Yeah.
There are not that many variants. Yeah. But yeah. I don't know. Like, it was also before I knew the changes. So like Snowguard. But yeah, I do like art is subjective. Yeah, I do like the one on the right more. Also, I'm a bit of a weird. So I'm considering cool. Like sometimes like last season I actually bought all the Series 5 cards and opened the spotlights to get the mech variants.
Did you really?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the super whale. Remember how many tokens?
Only 97. Only 97.
Only 97.
I'm at 49,000, and I have more than I feel like I could ever spend, and I'm less than half.
I'm actually considering if I should open this. I actually consider if I should open this week's spotlight to get the... Actually, I don't care about the Jeff, but I do like the Null and the Ghost Spider.
I've got a Null. I just want... So, one of the things I'm trying to do right now, like one of my like side projects just for my own entertainment, is I want one variant I like for every card. And
I have 5 cards without variant.
Yeah, I have so many Null variants that like I just don't care. And so I want one variant I like for every card. I'm like halfway there because I haven't cared about variants in forever. And I'm going to go... KM does the purple border. I like the gold border. I'm doing the gold border for everything.
So coming back to Snowguard here, is Snowguard prettier with the base background for the tokens, or do you want to split it?
I actually don't know how they look like split. I'm not sure I ever saw a split Snowguard.
They have the backgrounds pasted on either like foil or noir or gold, but they have the beautiful Northern Lights Aurora Borealis going in the background of the base art, which is
I really wish they would make tokens. Actually, with this patch, they actually with that mind the zombie squirrel. So I really wish they would do it for like Becky and Snowguard as well. I'm like,
I thought that Snowguard was going to be their chance to start that, but it wasn't.
So Bootman.
Yeah, like Squirrel Girl is like not like nobody plays Squirrel Girl. What do you do with squirrels? Nobody plays Squirrel Girl.
Not anymore. Not since Deathwave died.
When did anybody play Squirrel Girl?
I played it in Deathwave.
I think the only time people played Squirrel Girl was back in like it was before my time, but back in beta, you just played Squirrel Girl on T1 so you could retreat and get XP. I think that was the most before they changed it, so you can't do that. And I think that was when she was most played. Like, where do you play? No, you don't play it in Patriot, you don't play it in Khazar, you don't play it in Destroy. Like, it's just not a viable card in Series 3 onward. Even in Series 1, I'm not sure it's viable. Like,
yeah, in Modern Snap, it was not working. And then even though Mobius is working synergistically with Wave, it doesn't bring Death Wave back. So yeah, it's going to be really hard for Squirrel Girl to find play.
I mean,
yeah, like they should have started with Doom. I think, Token Doom boss would have been amazing.
Token Doom bots would be fantastic. It's okay, we'll get up eventually.
So this is a zombie Doom, right? It would be a zombie Doom boss.
I don't know if zombie Doom boss, but like anything with Doom bots, like
sign me up.
It'd be amazing.
I'm sold.
Or Braude, or I don't know. Bucky would be cool.
All of
Bucky's
I think they literally chose the least played token generating card.
Mm-hmm. But I like Squirrel Girl more than all the others. Squirrel Girl is one of my favorite characters in Marvel.
Yeah, she's just like Doom, only with 5 less cost and 4 less power.
Whatever. And Mysterio.
She's budget Doom.
Mysterio and Bast is just better Doom, so whatever.
Yeah. And Nikia.
Yeah, oh god, that feels so good.
It's so good.
Well, considering how much time we actually spent discussing Snowguard, kind of shows you what we think of the Snowguard art.
Maybe
now that she's been buffed. I like it too, but we talk a lot more about
even Snowguard? I literally have no clue who Snowguard is as a character.
Roy knows.
Who's small-time X-Men character, I think.
Alpha Flight,
right? Maybe, yeah.
He doesn't even have a Wikipedia article. Like, how are you even real if you don't have a Wikipedia article?
Roy, you got to start one.
Roy's
I'm not a wiki editor. All right. So let's bring us into the end of this episode as we give our guests one more chance to sell them to you. So, Braude, why don't you tell us what our loyal listeners would find if they went and followed your content?
Let's start with that I have the cutest cat in the world.
Oh.
That's the very important thing for my stream viewers. I have the cutest cat in the world named Milky. I'm a top level player. I play in many tournaments. I stream. I hope you can learn from me if you watch me. Also, the Marvel Snap Bugle is just the best source for all Snap information, where I obsessively follow Glenn and all his tweets and posts on Discord and stuff.
All right, my turn. So I get to talk about you now. Sorry. Okay. So first, I'm super anti-gameplay. I don't think that, generally speaking, people get much better by watching other people play. I don't think that's true with Braude. I think that there's a very high level, constant level of discourse about what moves to make, why to make them, consideration of different options that sort of mimics the metacognitive processes you would need to get better and get good at Snap, and it's super high level. In addition, I said this earlier, every Snap content creator knows, respects, and uses Braude stuff. We've referenced every time I'm like, Glenn said this about the game that informed my opinions and information. It was an answer to a Braude question. Just out of sheer gratitude, you should be following Braude, but also because it'll make you a better Snap player. So 100%, go find him, follow him, check the show notes for the links.
Thank you.
All right. Teddy Ninja.
Heyo, follow me. Yeah, follow me on the YouTube for deck guides and then breakdowns. I also stream. We just have a chill time. We stay pretty laid back. Enjoy being able to hang out with everybody on the chat and then be able to share. I try and pull a mix of everything into it. It can be the one-stop shop with news and then some of my own homebrews and then also keeping up with what's big in the meta. So try and bring it all to you guys.
I spend an inordinate amount of time lurking in Teddy Ninja's YouTube. I am there all the time. I love it. And I'm going to tell you another secret, a thing he didn't plug because he is way too kind. My single favorite Marvel Snap podcast outside of this, which, let's not pretend I listen to my own podcast. That's creepy as hell, right? I don't think anyone listens to their own podcast unless they're editing it. But Can't Stop Snapping. Bradsifer is the worst, and it's adorable. I love Bradsifer. But your interactions are always fantastic. You could not be more different. He's getting worked up, and you're just like, hey, it's great. It's so fun. It's genuinely a joy. If you enjoyed this podcast and this conversation, I think it's I mean, they don't do like guests as like we do, right? Or as often as we do. But like the type of discussion feels really, really similar. And like it's just a great time. You should 1,000% be checking it out if you like us. And like, hey, please still listen to us when you realize how good they are. But like, it's genuinely phenomenal. So check it out. Absolutely.
Thanks, man.
All right. That brings us to the end of another episode. So I just got to remind you folks real quick where to find us on social media. We are on Twitter /X at SnapJudgeCast. Please, we are the official Marvel Snap Zone podcasting partner. So go out there and join the Discord via the links in the description of this episode, both on podcatchers and on YouTube. Our email is snapjudgmentspodcast@gmail.com. We are on Mastodon at snapjudgments with an E at tabletop.vip. We are also, and most importantly, on YouTube at Snap Judgments Pod. And with all of that, I get to wish Braude a wonderful, great evening, or I guess day, where he is, or great evening here, day to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Teddy, thank you so much for joining us today.
No, man, it was great. A pleasure to be here.
Awesome. And Glazer and Glazer's special guest, have a great rest of your week, my friend.
Peace and love, everybody. I got to go put my kid to bed. He just woke up.
All right, loyal listeners, stay safe, make good choices, and keep on snapping.